First thing, I would like to have a motion to allow Steve and Rachel to participate online. Paul and Eden. All right. Any comments, objections? All right. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. First resolution is the approval of the annual tax levy ordinance deferred from the 10-4-22 joint session. Can I have a motion? Paul again, and Betty. Thank you, Betty. Mr. Ricker? Mr. Ricker?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Go ahead, Steve.
Okay. You've got a motion and a second on the floor, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Do you plan to have a discussion, or is it time for me to make my requested amendment?
I think we were going to have your requested amendment, and then we were going to have discussion.
Okay. So, this is Steve. I would like to issue an amendment to the original tax levy ordinance for 2023 payable. The amendment should be at everyone's place. The first paragraph is the Peoria County Board proposes a 2022 property tax rate of 0.8241 cents. Recommended property tax levy is based on the county EAV of 3.534 billion, an increase of 4%. I will not read all of the rest of it. All of it should be public information available. So I put that as an amendment.
Okay. Could you put a motion to that effect? Is there a second? Paul? Okay. Discussion. Mr. Brooks?
You want me to go ahead? Go testing. Scott, go ahead now.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to read something quickly, and then I'll do a few bullet points. Hopefully, I'll just answer all your questions before moving forward. Obviously, I was on vacation, and Trish didn't have all the facts. But I just want to clear everything up with you guys. I know there's some information going out there, some myths and some misinformation. I just want to clear everything up. First, I want to introduce I have some commission members here in the back. Chairman John Gersh, Vice Chairman Tony Groh, Judge Advocate that you all know, Gary Hall, and then our chaplain, Corey Allen. Just wanted to kind of put some pictures to the faces of some of our board. I've witnessed firsthand as the IAC-VAC president, now past president, county boards and commission battle for years over funding, and I do not want that to happen here. Only the veterans lose in this situation. Veterans have fought for us, and I will always fight for them. Why was the Public Act 102-0732 created? The Public Act was created because VACs were not being funded properly, and then Military Veterans Assistance Act had to be modernized to meet the VAC's growing needs. The Public Act was bipartisan and unanimously voted in the House and Senate. Republicans and Democrats came together and voted unanimously. I want Peoria County Board proud of the work we do here every single day caring for our veterans. Nowhere in my previous emails about why I need to increase our budget was other county veterans even mentioned, as I am not sure how that became the focus. As superintendent, that is my job to make sure Peoria County veterans are the priority and will always be the priority. For example, if your son, daughter, or parent is a veteran, would you want them to go to a great VAC or an average VAC? I think everyone in this meeting would send their loved ones to our VAC as board members have done that in the past, and we took care of them, no questions asked. Illinois, believe it or not, it's gone up since 52nd, but Illinois is ranked 50th in the United States in VA compensation benefits. We owe it to our veterans to improve that ranking. The PACT Act, which is a promise to address comprehensive Toxics Act, was signed into law 8/10/22. Will make thousands of Peoria County veterans eligible for added benefits. And I'm not going to go over everything because it's quite an extensive bill. But what that means is adding 23 burn pit toxic exposure related conditions to the VA's list of service presumptions, as well as adding hypertension linked to Agent Orange. Think about Vietnam veterans that served in Vietnam and Thailand and other countries, how many of those do you think have hypertension by their point in life? What, 98%? Well, they're calling our office, filing a new claim because they've been denied previously for hypertension, or they have hypertension now. Those are presumptive now. It's automatic. You file it, you get granted. Those veterans are calling our office, and I'll give you the statistics here at the end. They're also expanding presumptions related to Agent Orange in 6 other countries to include Thailand. Some of them I couldn't pronounce, so I just stuck with Thailand. As the needs and disabilities of veterans have increased, so has our workload to take care of these heroes. VAC has no authority to raise taxes or tell you how our budget is funded. That role is still with the Peoria County Board. I wanted to clarify a question at the last committee meeting that was asked to Trish. What are we going to do next year? Are we just going to go to the 0.03? I would think by now that the people that do know me that I'm not just going to go take the max just because the law provides it. I have no interest in going to 0.03. I have a board just like Scott does, and I have to justify my budget to them back there. I want to assure you I have no intentions of going to 0.03 out of spite or just because the law states we can. I would not do that to the taxpayers. I am asking for what I need. The PACT Act is the most comprehensive bill since Agent Orange benefits. People are dying. Veterans are dying. They're getting cancer. Brain cancer is on the presumptive list because they were burning everything over in the Gulf War. This is the reason I am increasing my budget. We can only take care of Peoria County veterans together. In my 18 years as superintendent, I've only asked for funds when necessary. As the VA's overall budget in 2023 is only 0.006% of the county's entire budget. Federally, VA expenditures make up 5% of their budget. Our heroes were sent to war, came home with PTSD, depression, insomnia, ischemic heart disease, and a list of cancers that are killing veterans daily. We are losing veterans daily to suicide, and I'm supposed to turn them away because they are from another county? If I refer veterans to a county that doesn't take care of their veterans, they will likely become a statistic of the 22 veterans a day who commit suicide. Those conversations are very tough when a veteran calls me and is thinking of suicide. So I just give a couple examples is, I had a veteran that sent me, he was from a different county and he was planning his death benefits and he was 30 years old. This was a couple years ago. Luckily I caught, why would a 30-year-old be planning his death benefits for his wife to be getting death benefits? If I would have turned that veteran away because he's from Tazewell County, he'd be dead right now. I'm not going to get into, should Tazewell do this or do that. What I know is I take care of veterans, and that's what I have to do. That happens more than you think or know, that veterans call and are thinking about suicide. After the Afghanistan withdrawal, suicide calls increased by 17% because those veterans served in Afghanistan and it was given right back to them. The decisions our office, we have a veteran present here that has his own story. He's on our board. When Corey moved here from out of state, his home residence was Woodford County. Corey, can you come up and share your story? I'm gonna make you grab your own chair.
Can I just stand?
Yeah, go ahead.
My name's Corey Allen. I graduated from Woodruff class of 2000. Born and raised here in Peoria. Can everybody hear me without it? I'm not comfortable. Oh, you need it? Oh, my apologies. Like I said, my name is Corey Allen. I graduated from Woodruff in 2000, tried to go to college, didn't work, found myself in the military where I learned the discipline and structure that I needed to get my life squared away. From there, I parlayed that into a job at the Department of Justice out in D.C. As a deputy U.S. Marshal. Then some of the things that veterans deal with started to creep in, such as the physical ailments, so on and so forth. Well, long story not as long as it took me 7 years to get the VA to adjudicate my claim, and it wasn't without the help of these two. What you guys know is the VAC now has multiple people. The VAC that I know is literally these two people right here, and they saved my life. Like, that's not hyperbole, that's not conjecture. I was suicidal. For those of you from Peoria, it was Thompson Food Basket over there on Corrington and Knoxville. I sat in the parking lot, tried to figure it out. I couldn't. I found these two and they saved my life. They got it on track. I joined the military from Peoria. I didn't represent Peoria County. I represented America. It was an ideal. It's for everybody, Democrats, Republicans, independents, everybody. It doesn't matter where you live. If you served here, you served here. What they're trying to do here is save lives. Where the money comes from, like, that's above my pay grade. That's what they're doing here right now. But I am a living proof that what they do literally works. And now I'm on the executive board as a chaplain trying to save more lives because you teach one, reach one. And that's what they're doing here. So that's my story. They're doing God's work. I'm a God-fearing man, and this man literally is a guardian angel of mine. I still call him when I hit those lows because that's what they do there. They take care of us when the government doesn't care because we're just a number. We're just a dollar sign. We're not. We're people. That's what they're doing here works. That's why we have one of the lowest homeless veteran numbers in the country, because this guy and this lady spearheaded this effort to get veterans what they need. So I don't know if that helps or hurts, but I know that they're doing God's work. They're helping us. I know people who have killed themselves in the last few weeks because their areas don't have people like them that will take care of them regardless. So whatever you guys are going to do, just, you know, these guys are doing real work out there. They're saving lives. I'm an example of it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you,
Thank
Corey.
you. Thank you. You about ready to wrap up?
Yeah,
here?
I'm going to be quick. I'm just going to give a few statistics. I think the questions that you guys asked, that everybody's been waiting for. I just wanted to kind of go over, okay, so since the PACT Act has passed, we have seen an increase in veterans coming into the office. So the PACT Act was signed in August, correct? So 159 veterans came into our office because we do mostly by, digital signature. So, and 159 veterans came in our office in July. Since the PACT Act was signed, 290 came in August, 293 came in September, 164 has already been in our office in October. We had 32 veterans just walk in one day, So I just want to clarify that the other counties have nothing to do with this. This is the PACT Act. This is the reason that we need more funding. This is the reason why we need more people in our office. I just want to say, so you're asking about the other counties. So right now we have 1,078 veterans receiving a monthly compensation from counties other than Peoria. We have over 19,000 veterans in our program. That's 6%. 6% come from other veterans right now. So these numbers that have been floated, I don't know where they came from, but we've changed programs like, 3 times in 3 years. So we can't go back like Mr. Reeker added and did a 3-year, what percentage it was. But right now, 6% of our total veterans that are receiving compensation are from different counties other than Peoria. That is all. Thank you.
Okay. And you can get that to us at our regular meetings, monthly meetings.
Absolutely.
And along with the dollars and cents for the different counties, you can
Correct.
break it up like that.
Yes.
Thank you. All right.
I have to do an annual report to the governor every year.
Okay.
So.
Is there any other questions for Mr. Brooks? One thing I'd like to kind of set straight here, Mr. Brooks, that we certainly, as a county, support the veterans and the work that you do for the veterans. We are also accountable for money, the dollars and cents, but yet the appropriations are made through your board, which we have no leadership role in appointing people to, and they make decisions without, there's no transparency. The money that was spent, not the money that's spent on the veterans, that's a different issue, but part of what was going into this was 20 to 32% pay increases. Now, we don't do that in Peoria County, but we got no control over it because of what you're saying. So that's the part that bothers us as a board, is to give pay increases like that's not within the realm of what we do.
Right.
That's where we have problems. So we're going to seek, at least I would seek out legislatively to try to get some way that we can either have some input with our board into your board, something, but just to be told this is the way it's going to be, it's not a good situation. No harm for the veterans. We support the work that's being done and taking care of them. but there's accountability, and we can't be transparent and show accountability for those.
Right, and obviously I did prove that to my board. So our VSOs were getting $20,000 paid less than the Illinois Department of Veteran Affairs. I've been fighting for them for years to get paid at what everybody else gets paid. So that is the reason for the raises. Every coworker, every veteran that's come and worked for me has taken less money from the job that they previously had just because they want to help veterans. So, you know, I understand county doesn't usually increase wages, but I've been fighting for that for years to get them paid. And I just want to clarify that I am more than supportive of a liaison from the county board that comes to our commission meetings. It's a public meeting anyways, but I asked in 2020, but COVID obviously probably changed that, and we haven't had a liaison. But I am more than supportive of a liaison from the county board coming to our meeting and then reporting back to you. I mean, everybody's more than welcome, like I said, because it's a public meeting, but.
Yeah, there's no ownership other than the liaison is just a communications person.
Yeah, there would be no vote.
Yeah, I would much rather see that there is an appointment from a board appointment. So that's what we do with all these other organizations, whether sanitary districts or cemetery districts, whatever that we're giving funds to like that, we do.
But there's no veterans on the board, and you have to be a veteran to be on the commission.
Any rule that's there can be changed too.
I understand that there's going to be cleanup language, there's going to be trailer bills. I mean, I'm not saying this is the end all be all. That's why I didn't go. I mean, I completely understand.
Well,
Jimmy
we thank you for
Jimmy has taught
coming forward.
me Politics 101 in the last month.
Well, again, want to reiterate the fact that this board is very supportive of our veterans.
Thank you.
Nothing that we've been discussing here is about the veterans. It's about the process.
Right. I agree.
Is there any other comments from the board? Okay, then we'll take a vote. All those in favor, aye? This is on the amended motion.
This is Steve. Can I make just a couple comments, please?
Absolutely, Steve. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah. Well, thank you to Mr. Brooks and his director team that did show up. Apologize, I'm not there in person to meet with you. I think the kind of key point that I want to comment on is that, you know, we need to keep working together and not against each other in this. I think we all support veterans, as Mr. Fennell accurately stated. It's more about let's work together, and I talked to Mr. Brooks about going forward, collaboration between the VAC and the county board to work with our neighboring friends in other counties, both their VACs and boards, to make sure that all of veterans are getting proper service and support in their local area. So I'd like to at least put that out there as a position that, you know, this is not a one-time topic that we're going to talk about today, but it's a first step of the future working together to provide better services in the whole community for veterans. So I put that out there, and I just want to make sure that we have that awareness. Then I guess my other comment is the vote I think that we're having is the vote on the amendment that I did put on the table. Just for clarification, on the amendment that I have proposed to the original motion, the key part that I omitted commenting, I'll comment now, is the VAC levy will go up by the 0.8 as originally proposed in order to keep the property tax level and not increase tax on our taxpayers at this time. We're going to take 0.8 out of our general funds, which will put us in a negative in that situation. And so that's being done to support the VAC at this point, but also make sure that we as a county are very supportive of our taxpayers, that we're not raising taxes on them at this time. So I want to be clear, that's the motion I put on the floor. Thank you.
Everyone clear? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Are those in favor?
In favor.
Thank you.
Yes, in favor.
Okay, motion carried unanimously. Thank you. Now, on on the original motion as amended. Any questions, comments on that before we start?
Do we, does the amended motion hold, or do we have to, because that's a complete motion, right? Or is this a two-step process, Scott?
It's as amended. It's now the original motion as amended. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Next item is the F 2023 annual appropriation of budget ordinance referred from the 10/4/22 joint meeting. Do I have a motion, please? Klaus. Eden, thank you. Discussion.
This is, Steve, again, I'd like to make an amendment on this one, if it's appropriate now.
Yes, Steve, go ahead.
Okay. So on this one, I would like to make an amendment, and I think all board members should have copies there. Again, in alignment with the prior motion that we just passed to keep the tax levy flat. This amendment, again, basically states that we're increasing the levy by 8.8 cents on the VAC, reducing the general levy and the dollar amounts in the funding. So this is part of the budget approval of the annual appropriation and budget ordinance amendment. Thank you.
So this is then taking from the general fund, this,
So correct, Mr. Chairman. The effect of Mr. Ricker's amendment is that the property tax revenue in the general fund will be decreased by the dollar equivalent of 0.8 of a penny of the tax rate. That's approximately $305,000. By doing that, you then have an unbalanced general fund budget, and so an additional component of Mr. Ricker's amendment is then to account for or make up that deficit by using reserves from the general fund. The general fund's reserves are sufficiently adequate to accomplish that. It is an accepted practice under GAAP, which is generally accepted accounting principles, to use fund balance and reserves as a form of balancing a budget. So the motion before you would then take $305,000 and change out of reserves and plug that revenue hole caused by the decrease in property taxes in the general fund.
okay, that's part of the amended motion, so now I need a second to that motion. Jennifer, thank you. Yes, any questions to that effect? Basically, we're taking out of the general fund to fund the VAC, and then we're taking out of the reserves to fund the general fund to balance it. Okay. No further questions? I'll call the roll. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Thank you. The extent. Oh, yes. Excuse me. Thank you. Now we need to do the motion as amended. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Thank you for keeping me on track. Extension of the declaration of emergency due to COVID-19 in Peoria County. Could I have a motion? Brandy, thank you. And Linda.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So probably a little bit of confusion for folks this month. Typically, this would not come through a committee. You would once we get to the regular board meeting, you would suspend the rules, and then you would vote on this disaster proclamation. But because the Finance Committee and the Executive Committee are meeting now, we are able to actually bring this disaster proclamation through the committee process. So you'll ideally vote it out of committee, and then you will vote on it at the board meeting as if you would typically vote on it.
Okay. Any questions? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Oh, excuse me. Steve?
Aye.
Okay. Opposed? Same sign? Unanimous. Thank you. Miscellaneous, anything? We are adjourned. Thank you.
Steve.